Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Champions League, where we're going into our final deciding matchup, going up between both Liquid as well as Speed. This is the teams which haven't dropped a single set of matches yet, so the winner of this matchup will take the #1 position in the group stage so far. Let's jump ourselves over into the game, which has already started, into the draft. I can welcome in my co-caster for tonight as well, and that is Clairvoyance, man. Welcome back. Welcome back for our final deciding match.
Toby, can you imagine if Speed Gaming actually keep their roster intact? And by that I mean their captain doesn't get kicked by January, and they get to TI, and then all of a sudden people are actually cheering them on, like, inside the venue. Can you just imagine what they'd be saying? I was just talking about it with them just the other day, and it's just so funny, the thought of, like, people going speed. Oh goodness, man! Their name, Speed Gaming International. That is
the worst name ever.
Quite something.
The worst name ever chosen. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
That is sincerely the biggest downgrade you could have gone. Like, I was talking with them how, like, their name has just been progressively down, like a downward spiral. Like, they went from, like, Kai P, which sounds really sick, and they used to have something that's really catchy and attractive, No Tide Hunter, and then they went to, what did they go right after that? They had something before speaking. Yeah, they went Rattlesnake. All right, Rattlesnake's like kind of like meh.
And then Rattlesnake said, "We want to give you a brand that can stand alone. So we're gonna call you Speed Gaming, but we're gonna keep the international on the end of it for some unknown reason. So not even just they're not even basic Speed Gaming. They're Speed Gaming International. So technically they're SGI."
Well, they're also SPG according to their tag, which sounds so fabulous every time you say it, SPG.
Spig.
But just as Ii-sama himself says, Toby, Ii-sama, he gotta go fast, you know what I'm saying? So, Speed Gaming, that's how we do. But Speed Gaming International. Alright, so the funny thought is this, that I told them, like, well, I actually didn't tell them, but basically they just told me that they're not gonna get Clockwork on the first pick. Have you seen their bans? And I said, yeah, I've seen their bans, but you're gonna get Clockwork. And it looks like they can get Clockwork here. The big question on my mind is, are they actually going to take Clockwork here? Because that hero, along with Lich, Bounty Hunter, and a couple other heroes that are kind of unmentioned, Death Prophet, Necrolite really strong in this patch, by the way. Waiting to see which team utilizes that first. But the the Clockwork, Bounty Hunter, Lich, those heroes just stand out to me so strong in this current patch. And I know Bounty Hunter has not been getting the most mention, but it looks like it's not going to even get a mention yet,
because you missed the game that Mousesports played the other night where they played the Bounty Hunter.
And how that
missed a 14-minute Dagon.
Oh, interesting. I'm telling you, Toby, like the gold changes and stuff like that. Here is like the breakdown. And why are people disconnecting?
Check the chat. I don't think they meant to pick up Chen. If Team Liquid want to rehost, so go do it.
10 seconds remaining.
They ask us to go Lux, we go USC, don't be gay. Ii-sama, he gotta go fast, you know what I'm saying, Toby?
Right. Oh. This kind of stuff you can sort in the lobby. It's the kind of stuff you can easily sort in the lobby. Well done. Well done, Envy. Seems the Russian caster didn't get the memo, though. We're missing our Russian caster. Coming back.
They will be here momentarily. But, I mean, just going back to that point, if I can elaborate a little bit. Now, anybody who's played Dota 1 probably knows about this nice little mode called Easy Mode. Toby, I'm sure you're very familiar with that mode, Easy Mode.
Well, but back in the days when you didn't just go matchmaking, you actually searched for a game in a list of lobbies. And if you ever saw an APEM, you just steered clear because you knew there would only be noobs in that game.
Oh, come on, Toby. And I seen your record, bro. That's the only game you play. Come on.
What do you mean you see my record? It was Warcraft 3, Dota. Toby, there was no record. You be lying. You be lying. You be
man, you dodge stacks and then you pick Void or Prophet every single game and you game ruin the enemy. Yeah, you're one of those horrible people. But
I was a person that picked Drought Ranger, didn't get any items at level 1. Went jungle and basically farmed the jungle. I got myself Lifesteal at level 1, built into a Mask of Madness,
Oh,
and I got
God.
myself level 6. I never came out because 33% chance. Booyakacha.
Oh,
That was the type of gamer I was, man. That was the type of gamer I was.
Draw Ranger's very viable too, especially with the recent changes to her. I'm not. I think she
so
isn't full, right?
She so isn't. She's only viable because now Skeleton King can be a support hero.
Oh, come on now. Skeleton King has more buttons than that.
SK as well as SK Veno as well as Joe Ranger for me become viable.
Yeah, Draw Ranger is definitely viable. Why is she not viable?
She was never viable, man. Like even with the later changes.
Oh, come on now. Remember that era where every single game in Dota 1 it was like Earthshaker, Windrunner, Draw Ranger, Tri-Lane every single game.
Yeah, it's okay. Joe Ranger precision aura damage ratio increased. Fantastic. Now 36%. That's really great. Precision aura no longer affects creeps, but it's actually manually cast to effect globally for 30 seconds. So you're like windows for pushing. And then your marksmanship attribute negation increases well to 400. Yes, you got a couple of buff ups, but you still have the problem that she requires really good support stunners to be with her at every single time.
Toby, come on now.
You have a hero like a Luna who has mini stuns. She has an ulti which can just decimate everybody if you catch one person alone or not. And if you want one person alone, your Glaze Bounce. There's just so many better heroes right now. And believe me, if I'm the person saying this, then it's got to be bloody real. True Ranger is not a fantastic pickup in the meta right now.
Oh, whoa. Now, is this fair? Is this allowed?
It's what allowed.
Speed Gaming first picked Chen in their last game.
You're right.
They just got banned by Liquid. Is that fair?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is
the first pick position itself also changed, so I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Regardless, the first time Nagasara makes her appearance in the series, unless I missed it earlier or something, but still a very potent hero. The nerf to the Riptide is relatively big because a lot of times you relied on her to kind of close the distance, but not really. Like she can obviously close the distance because she is such a fast fish, but at the same time, you really wanted to have that maximized AoE on the Riptide because it not only buffs up the illusions without having to get too close, but also in the early game, even though your movement speed is faster than everybody else, it's generally assumed that range is better than melee, and every little bit of range counts. So a slight nerf to the Siren, still a very potent hero I feel, especially with the jungle changes. She can still farm up nicely and still support very, very powerfully. And speaking of which, Speed Gaming decides to pick up the Priestess at the second pick, very, very confident with that hero and apparently very satisfied with Sing Sing's performance. So no hesitation there, and same thing with Liquid, picking up the Timbersaw very fast, which leaves options open because that could both be a Bulba or a Koipa hero, and I say that with the Bad Rider in mind as well.
You're right, because they both play both of those heroes quite well. I am double checking to see, like, obviously it's allowed because both the teams just kept going with it and they didn't seem to really care too much.
Reserve time.
Yeah, no, it
was just an interesting series of events.
The admin said it was okay.
All right.
All right. I have no other explanation apart from two letters, which is Y and E. So that's the answer to question of, is it allowed? So it's yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Toby. That's the universal response for the green light. All right. It's just you just yeah anybody and they're good.
Yeah, or you could just use like yeah or something like that. But it's just it's the lazy S, the silent S, which is also rather invisible. Ban time. We're gonna have Luna taking out this one. So if you do feel it, like, and I think Pilot Eye is currently feeling it, where it's like Timbersaw and Batrider, middle and bottom for Liquid, which means assemble your aggressive tri-lane. But at the same time, you could run Timbersaw on an offlane. There's nothing to stop you from doing so.
Yeah.
And with the live still being being banned out right now, I got a feeling we're looking at TC's Alchemist as the third selection. Juggernaut's gonna be banned out by Pilot Eye anyway, and he'll have the next pick up here. But Speed Gaming can go aggressive with their lane too. You got Naga and Mirana. These two were even in the old days of Speed Gaming played as a support. The Mirana was a support before it was played by Sing Sing in the mid.
Yeah, with the Shadow Demon or any other hero like Bane that can set up so they work in conjunction with each other. Now, I really do feel though that this Timbersaw is definitely going in the off lane, possibly with another hero, just because that's how the games these days run. You know, like people like to quote unquote maximize efficiency of sorts and kind of put a support with your offlaner. And already Timbersaw is actually a very potent, very capable solo himself. So if you give up that support buff up, why not just give him the extra advantage that he can get, so he can just snowball out of control, or just get such a good early start that he's looking for, that he can transition into stopping pushes alone or threatening a solo kill kind of thing. And with the offlane positioning, once again, Clockwork, Bounty Hunter, Timbersaw, these heroes, they are just so strong in this patch that I'm surprised Clockwork didn't even get a mention this game. I guess it's kind of like this situation is like Liquid is saying, okay, if they didn't first pick it, they're not interested and we don't want it. And rightfully so, of course. They took the Timbersaw, so it's unlikely that they'll take the Clockwork, especially with the Bat Rider as well, because then all of a sudden their core is lacking a lot of late game damage. That is all Tobi.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I had no follow-up because I saw something else which just required my immediate attention to fix.
Oh goodness, Tobi. Who is it this time?
It was yeah, something else. SF pickup here by SPG.
Yeah, that's what you were looking at, right? You said Speed Gaming is gonna take the Shadow Fiend right now in conjunction with Mega Siren, and also shut out the Timbersaw potential at the mid lane, forcing it to an off lane Timbersaw, and then you can predict lanes better. Oh, what a strategic brilliance coming out of you, Tobi.
Yeah, because that's why people ever tune into my broadcast. It's like strategic brilliance. See things coming from a mile away. I'm still feeling the Alchemist, man. I'm still feeling the Alchemist.
You know, I really do like the Alchemist this patch as well. I mean, a lot of people look at the sheer numbers and say, wow, he got a huge nerf kind of thing. But keep in mind two things. The old Alchemist, one, used to go Vanguard. That item got a pretty big buff. If you're blocking 40 damage at 80% chance, you're basically blocking 40 damage. And what I gotta say about a hero with like 50 HP regen blocking 40 damage, plus the Vanguard regen and all that other jazz, it is still very capable. And with the new Alchemist, I do want to say that Armlet is extremely powerful. For the similar reasons why it's good with Lifestealer, you can always regen the Armlet HP back, so it's very efficient. I would say Alchemist is very strong as well. It's an item that gives 60 damage to the Alchemist to a right clicks, and he attacks faster with the base attack time and the ultimate, along with the fact that Armlet does give attack speed, armor, and every other stat that a strength hero really wants. Every stat that any hero really wants, really. And yeah. I do see a good potential, and I would like to see it. I would like to see it work. But Speed Gaming finally picking up that Clockwork and saying, we're going to mix things up a little bit too. We didn't pick it up early, and you're leaving the option for us, so we're taking it now. And Gyrocopter is the response out of Liquid. Once again, I would have liked to see the Alchemist as much as you have, but they want to opt for a very powerful teamfight composition, and Gyrocopter is going to give them that.
And they will, man. And you got your clock. You got your clocky.
Yeah, man, I'm just surprised it hasn't even been mentioned until the fourth pick. It's always a strategic mind game, especially with these teams, because these guys play like every single day against each other or something. And so some of the draft intricacies that we don't notice might be due to them having just experience with each other. But yeah, generally, Bone 7 Clockwork, you know, it's not something that you want to pass up every single day. It is when he buys Orchids, but most of the time it's not.
Yeah. Well, Rubik will be the final ban out by Pyrelite Dice. So looking at the last supporter here for TC. And with SF, Mirana, and Clockwork on the field, you did have a couple of fun things you could be stealing out from this lineup. I'm wondering, though, with the custom ban, we've already got Fluff and Stuff's hero. So jungle kind of feels it for me. Like, you've already banned out the Chen. Maybe if you add an Enchantress to this lineup as well. Or we could even look for, like, the all-out team fight with the Enigma as well in this lineup.
But Enigma is banned, though. You know what I'm actually sensing?
Take that one out.
I'm actually sensing a Bane or a VS5, and I feel like one's gonna get banned for sure here, and then the other one's gonna get picked. I'm thinking of the power of Bane on Speed Gaming's lineup, and actually take out the Shadow Demon. Is it possible that they want to take the Bane for themselves? Because basically, with the power of Enfeeble here with the Shadow Fiend, it's gonna be so good to help out the lanes. And Speed Gaming, they could really use a support that has a single target lockdown and gives them the supplementary lane bonuses, because Clockwork and Bane together in like the off lane together, it is so powerful. And we all know how Pyrelite likes to play his Bane. So It's on my mind. They got about 15 seconds total on their last draft. I feel like Bane or VS will have to get mentioned by one of these teams for sure. It complements both lineups with all the spells they give with the single target lockdown, and Bane, whether it's the burst damage and the extra lockdowns, or with the VS. Oh my goodness, that is greedy.
This isn't greedy though. Like, this is what we're talking about before. We have Naga and Mirana, the two supports together. You don't run, like, you give Sing Sing the SF. You give that off lane of the Clockwork, and then Doombringer more than likely played up by Owie here. Or they could switch that around, run Doom in the middle, and then put Owie on the SF. Either way, this is a large amount of money coming their way. They got good initiation. They got really good range stuns as well. I still worry though how they perform up against the Timbersaw.
Actually, I think Doom is such a good counter to Timbersaw. You just click one spell on him, and he just kind of shuts him down. But
True.
I think you were right on the Mirana. Like, I was so concentrated on the idea that this Portal Priestess is going to be Sing Sing or Bone 7, and if it's not one of those, it's going to be an Eternal Envy Priestess, which I've actually never seen. So that was a silly idea in general. But at the same time, this could very well be, yeah, you know what? It could still be greedy. Because think about it this way: Eternal Envy could go safe lane on the Shadow Fiend, which would be a SF versus Timbersaw matchup once again, and that's what Shadow Fiend does. Like, it destroys Timbersaw on the lane. Priestess could go on Sing Sing as well. And I did hear just before this game that they wanted to pick a lineup where Sing Sing can go walk around and Aoi 2000 can get farmed, like the previous game with the Visage, because they did give Aoi a lot of time to farm up his Aghanims really fast. And I think the Statsman did point out that that was one of the fastest Aghanims, if not the fastest. So maybe the Doom has a similar approach to it, where they want to give Aoi 2000 some time to farm. Sing Sing rotates out of the mid lane, and it's very versatile at nighttime, especially because, first of all, nighttime is rather early. But secondly, Priestess will definitely get EXP and farm at mid lane. So Sand King is the pickup on Liquid now. An extra stun, not exactly a VS or Bane. Unfortunately, I missed the call there, but a very powerful stun that adds a hefty amount of damage to their team fight. And yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a Sing Sing Priestess, Eternal Envy Sama himself going on the safe lane, Aoi 2000 on the Doom. Yeah, this is, I would say, Toby, I would say this is pretty greedy. Melee support, offlane Clockwork.
I'm still down for it, man, because Fear has shown me the light for this kind of draft.
Oh, certainly. I think Doom is definitely one of the most underrated heroes in this patch. The way this hero makes the team fight 4v5 if you leave him undisturbed in the jungle for like just 5 minutes.
Even before the patch, he was powerful.
Yeah, he was. And this new jungle actually buffed him up because he no longer gets well, I think the small camp itself is okay, but having a second medium camp means that you get the extra chance for, first of all, better EXP and better farm. But more importantly, better auras that you have access to. The small camp doesn't offer too much in terms of auras and spells that you can steal from neutrals. Like, the priest is good for healing yourself, but that's kind of a silly way to play it. Because, well, I mean, you're attacking and healing yourself, and I'm not sure how efficient it is in general, but yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see this unfold.
Well, it's going to unfold with an aggressive trial lane by Liquid. So we're going to run Fluff and stuff up on the top lane with the Crystal Maiden. Way Too Sexy coming up is the SK. Already with Smoke as well, so these two aren't going to stick around for long. Koitfa is the Timbersaw up on the top lane, and he's got an extra Tango pulled over. His Envy needs 30 snoozes. In towards our middle lane, we'll be seeing Bulba taking up the Bat Rider. Pulled 2 shared Tangos and got a salve, so just looking for Bottle Rush. TC will be the solo bottom lane Gyro. And as I said, he'll always have that support from the CM and the SK that can rotate him. While as far as speed gaming goes, we have everybody out in their lanes already, where Sing Sing's up here on the top lane. So we've got Sing Sing up on the top. Probably not going to remain there. They'll cross paths with the SF and change over. But Sing Sing Mirana, we've got Eternal Envy SF. Bone 7 will be his Clockwork, which I'm very happy to see. I love seeing his Clockwork, even though we can't arm it anymore. Or he can. He can.
You can, actually.
It's just not as effective. And then Pylai dies as Naga Siren, and that leaves Aoi 2000, the Doombringer, who has 2 Ironwood branches and is going jungle with 244 gold. So,
wow,
had to sacrifice himself a little bit before he went jungle.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to jungle Doom in general. Like, there's so many things dependent. It's not like an Enigma that you can kind of just work around any camp and find a solution. Doom has to find, like, specific creeps will benefit a Doom 10 times more than certain other ones. But I've never quite seen it done like this, where Doom buys absolutely no regen and no stealth shield. This is, I'm knowing Aoi 2000's tendencies, this has to have been practiced or premeditated upon. So I'm looking very forward to see if I can learn something out of this one, because maybe he's found out like a superior effective efficiency method of jungling with Doom that could work on very many different situations. So
It's either
I'm
that or he's
curious
just
to see-
sacrificed his own life.
I don't know if you want to do that on the Doom. And knowing his tendencies, once again, he likes to get farm on his heroes because he knows he can do stuff with it. And what can I say, man? His Visage, that's a pretty strong Visage.
Look at this! Look at this top lane. This from both Way Too Sexy and Fluff and stuff is something that teams like Virtus Pro used to do. Like this was like an Arsart and NS maneuver.
Yeah.
They would come in here and they would look to. You throw down an aggressive observer ward. Normally you throw it a little bit higher so you can see what other support's going to be there, and then you roam out to gank. But the problem was back then the creep wave was in this region, so you required like some good blocking and then a hero to basically commit down and past this line. But now the creep wave is a lot lower, almost basically at that line. And Eternal Envy fell on the block on the top. He's let two through. So now Pylai Dai is going to tag in here.
I don't think he can control that. The safe lane creeps get 400 movement speed for the first 15 seconds. There's no way you can block that, I don't think. But the other giveaway that might... Oh, you know what? Yeah, never mind. E has absolutely no awareness of this happening. So he's going to die first blood here.
Yep. This is like, he's the easiest hero to kill off. Pylai is going to come into the side. It's like, hey, sweet, we're going to kill. It's like, wait, no. Burrow Strike and Pylai just already walks away to the side and says, you know what? Liquid, you're going to have first blood in all 3 games because that's exactly what's now happened.
Wow. That is so big because this SF now has to walk back to the lane. He doesn't have enough money to buy the TP, and his supports at this point don't either. So, unfortunately for him, I think, you know, when TC picked up the Illusion Rune alone at the bottom river, they probably should have called it out and said supports are missing. But unfortunately for them, this is a maneuver that hasn't been used for so long. As you said, it's something that goes back to the VP days a couple months back and probably forgotten in the minds of many. So, a brilliant tactic coming out of Liquid for them to utilize it like this, giving them a huge advantage against the snowbally type of support like safe lane carries, pardon me, like Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
But SF, most certainly one of the strongest heroes when it comes to catching up. And he's Iisama already taking his talent straight into the jungle.
Well, he got himself possibly the best creep wave he could have asked for.
Yeah,
like,
he really does.
Like the Coldborgs. These guys will give him all the souls he's searching for. And so at this point, it's like thankful the creep waves were changed over. Back over to Doombringer. Mr. Wall Stomp, like he's now up to level 2 and gets his second level and goes on Scorched Earth. He doesn't have mana to continue this, but now he'll get a bottle. So the Zebra can bring that little sucker out. Look at this dive. They walk straight past Pylai Dai's Naga Siren, going directly for the SF. That was the plan right there. They got the creep wave as well. And Pylai Dai's forced to tank this up, which will burn through his consumables. And Envy's already used one of his shared tangos as well.
Oh man, this is pretty big. Envy's just messed up 2 CS on a safe lane. That hurts him a lot. Oh, he just messed up 3. Oh gosh. Not something I expected out of him, but that's going to cost him big because now he doesn't have the souls to keep fighting.
He's only got 6.
Pylai Dai saving it for his team.
Also saw a move by Fluff and Way Too. They finally got rid of that Dire Observer Ward, even though missing uphill seems to be a bit of a challenge here. Bulba, Mr. Level 4. Sing Sing's not in a position where he can be ganked up. If this gank is going to work by Liquid, they're looking at Bone 7 on the bottom lane. To pick off Sing Sing is, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's next to impossible.
Yeah, certainly very difficult. We're looking at a 600 range hero going up against the Nerf Rider, along with the fact that it is the hero leap, as you say. So, even with all the lockdown coming out of Liquid, asking for Sing Sing's probably wishful thinking, but however,
he's far enough. Look for that Frostbite to come out from Fluff and stuff. And now, Cogs managed to go up, so he can't get a full Rocket Barrage off here. And actually, Bone 7, with just the Cogs, will survive the smoke gank by the 2 supports who rotated off top.
The power of clockwork in the offlane right now.
1 second, Clairvoyance. I was hoping that a little bit of time would actually fix up your robot. Looks like it didn't. So, just a quick recall, man.
Okay.
Just a quick recall. As we'll re-establish our connection. And give it a moment too, just for it to buffer up. Koifa now with his arcane boots up on the top lane. Pylai Dai wants to give this a shot, but with Whirling Death already, and Koifa with 1 level up in Timber Chain. The Ensnare Cane will hold him for just a little bit, but that's like 2 levels raises coming out from Envy. It's minimal damage. And how's your mic now as I hear you throwing it around a little bit?
How do I sound?
You don't sound much better.
Excellent. I don't sound much better?
No.
Oh dear. That's quite problematic.
Actually, you call me. That's normally an easy way of solving this. We'll see if it's just the host caller, which is causing it to screw up a little bit more. So how are you sounding now, Claire?
I don't know. I think that's for you to figure out, right?
Yeah, you're sounding
How's it
good
sound?
now. You're sounding fine now.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
See, this is the power of the Canadian ISP host, Toby. Maybe
Lol.
you should follow.
Don't you go up against Deutschland Telekom.
Oh gosh, Deutschland Telekom. What a title that is. But, you know, that gank at bottom lane, of course, Liquid, they had somewhat of those supports that required those that close range kind of initiation thing, and Bone 7 was able to get out. But this is also an implication of the lane being pushed out with the off lane once again. If the lane was not naturally so pushed out where the equilibrium would have settled, then Bone 7 would have been a lot closer to TC, a lot closer to the enemy tower, and that would have essentially been a flank.
Bulba into the Firefly. It's going to go last on Sing Sing, so there's no follow-up damage here, and Sing Sing really dragged down low. He gets the arrow, but short range, so Pylai Die burrow strike as well by the SK. Two very quick turns around here, and Liquid will get 3 for 0 on the board after a double kill for Batrider in the mid. Slide over commitment there by Speed.
Wow. I'm surprised they even attempted that. Bulba didn't even get low.
No. They jumped in, and then, like where was the follow-up to come from? Like, Naga threw the ensnare to start up the fight. And without a straight-up arrow from the Mirana, or a long arrow, like, they were both in really, really close. And Sing Sing's having a hard enough time when he's napalmed up. Like, you saw him just then try and turn to last hit. Like, he was backing up. If you could walk backwards and have like a lower movement speed, I'm pretty sure Sing Sing would take that option.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing with this matchup in general is that Priestess, as you can see in terms on paper, like, she has the survivability, good range, and decent damage, can fight up. But hold that thought, Bone 7 solo killing up TC. This is really big. It's what Bone 7 does, man. He finds a way to do it one way or another. Whether it's a Darkseer or a Gyrocopter, he doesn't care, he'll do it. And now he's got enough money to buy a bottle. Let's see if he'll go for that option.
Or if he just wants to save a little bit longer and get some arcane boots up, leave Pylai Die in that bottom lane instead. Yeah, he's going back to base for now. Got a feeling he might bypass it. But 4 points battery assault, 1 point hookshot. You were talking about before these offlaners that can just get so much level. But it's the same with Koit. Koit was free farming top lane. He's 34 for 5 right now. His CS is through the roof. He has double the CS of the Clockwork, which is his off-lane counterpart. Pylai Die able to get out to safety under the cover of his own ensnare. And the Rocket, it's going to connect, but it's not enough damage to pick off Pylai Die. And then you look at the other lanes. So you got Gyro at 39 for 9. SF's managed to catch back up again to 33 for 4, but remember, a lot of that is jungle. But they both have a death to the name. So they get a little bit closer. And then the middle lane, Bulba, 33 for 5 up against a 27 for 7 Sing Sing. So Sing Sing's got his CS, but he doesn't have much more than that because he got picked off and Bulba got the double kill. So Bulba with a stack as well. He's coming up to that Blink Dagger. Like, normally for a straight-up jungle Batrider, we would say about 8 minutes. And he's roughly on target for that too. In the 8th minute, he'll get it.
Yeah, and remember that Batrider at the mid lane most of the time puts a lot of pressure on the enemy mid laner as well. So while getting this kind of Blink Dagger timing while pressuring Sing Sing is really amazing. But at the top lane, Eternal Envy getting caught out once again by the stun coming out of Wake 2. He's level 5 on the off lane, just walking around as well. So I guess you can say this is a roaming SK. Really, really good experience for Liquid support so far, whereas Speed Gaming
Bulba
kind of getting underhanded.
I don't know if it was really attempting to go for Sing Sing just then. Way too sexy.
Looks like just a farming thing.
It's just a farming thing?
And yeah, he's gonna get top rune now. This is what batteries do, right? They just clear out the wave just before the rune spawn so they can guarantee it for themselves. So it's a very Bulba-like thing to do for him. But in terms of EXP, Ollie 2000, not exactly the fastest jungle Doom I've seen, but still a pretty good one, I think. Considering all the action's been happening, I guess he must have been hindered slightly because he's afraid of movements are coming out. But the first nighttime is now over, and at the 8 minutes into the game, there are some heroes that normally you don't see at level 8 that are level 8. And Koipa is one good example. As you were saying, man, he was farming this off lane like it was his safe lane. And now he can solo kill up the SF, and with Fluff, it's pretty much a free kill. So Eternal Envy has to be very careful here.
Yeah. Koipa could even just dive that tower, they didn't even have to wait for Envy to get himself out of position. Yeah. And with the Observer, they know there's no support there too. Yeah, Mr. 777. He'll lose it all almost instantly. But I think the only saving grace for Envy is the fact he has an easy camp. That's his saving grace, that the camp change around is in fact helping him on this safe lane, top lane SF.
Dire's bottom tower
Ooh,
is
and you see
under
the smoke.
attack.
Oh, let's see if they're gonna go for the courier. Is he gonna try to ensnare it? No, doesn't get the range and doesn't really want to commit to that either.
They can
Maybe
wait
on
for
the
it to come
retreat.
back. Because they know
Yeah,
the
maybe
movement
on the
speed's
return
going
right
to
here.
already be used. So now the smoke's going to reveal off. Yep, ensnare, right click, and the very expensive courier
Radiant's
gives the
turret
money over to
has been
speed.
killed.
And then they
Yeah, man,
TP
that's a-
out almost instantly to the top lane.
I do believe that is $10,000 that they sniped out just now.
It's roughly
Something
around
of
that. In Dota 2 terms, it's a little bit less than that. Oh, Bone 7. He jumped into the melee, but he's got the
Oh, they're not
battery
gonna
assault
get
and the
this.
cogs, and Koitfa, he's just going to chain himself out this one. Yep, he's going to get burned up a little bit. But he's got arcane boots.
You know what?
TC's on top lane, and they're looking to counter-initiate. Without the Mirana ultimate to
Yeah.
hide them, they would actually, they're looking to come in through the rear. Owie, well, there's your doom. But TC's already used his flag cannon. He won't have a rocket barrage here, and it's taking a lot of damage. Timber chain up there, at least able to pick up the SF. TC, 47, he buys his Ogre Club before he dies. Sharkram's out from Coit, but he might look to pick up a couple of the others. But we completely forgot about Owie in the jungle. Were you watching his transitions? Bob was looking for a kill. He's already used his lasso. Like, Mirana's already gone on the sidelines, and with a Sharkram right underneath the clockwork, a 3-level flame break pops him out. And then they're
And he's
looking for
not
more.
done. He's got haste rune.
Yep, they're looking at Pile Die. Ensnare, obviously, best counter to haste rune. But Koitfa chains in, Whirling Death, destroys the Naga. Sharkram out again, so Sing Sing's already low on life. And Bulba, he's napalming, stacking up Owie 2000. Koitfa is going to tip a chain right through him. The Starfall went down, but the flame break from Batrider. Bulba's got himself another kill out, and Koitfa, Arcane Boost to give Bulba some extra mana to keep on going as Owie. The Firefly's about to wear off with a Burrow Strike into the epicenter now of the SK. No. Did he just cancel that himself, or did he use that before? Either way,
Oh,
Bone 7
man.
misses the hook shot up. That could have been the death of Bulba right there. Ensnare over to Fluff and stuff over on the sidelines. He doesn't have Nova or Frostbite, so he'll go down. But there's already been a lot of blood spilled by Team Liquid.
Man, that is, I gotta say, that is a brilliant move coming out of Fluff, but it's just one of the most frustrating things to deal with is that CM's Frostbite, because it applies the mini stun at the start, it completely cancels your animation, and sometimes you kind of overlook it just because it is a mini stun once again. And if you're playing heroes like Storm Spirit or Clockwork, very reliant on animations and stuff like that, CM just destroys you in this regard, even though it is counterable with a BKB and it is not a consistent stun in a sense that you can get out of it in a multitude of ways. It is the worst thing to deal with. And Bone 7, I've been watching him. He's actually missed the last 3 hook shots. The gank attempt at mid, at bottom earlier, it didn't go well while the courier thing was happening, and it just hasn't been going for him ever since the bottom lane as a whole. So he's gonna finish up his blade mail though, which is a nice thing for him. And let's see if he can make something happen again as his hook shot comes up and his blade mail is complete.
Well, TC's going to be looking to take their bottom tier 1 tower. He's got support behind him. Way Too Sexy's waiting for someone to come in close. Fluff and stuff as well. The Rocket's going to fly to some scout. The CM coming in though. So if there is a TP this bottom lane, it'll be Frostbite. And they already plant down a nice aggressive Observer Ward looking for it as well. But they can't finish the job. Tower's only down by a little bit. And I'm wondering if SF's looking to make a bit of a play on that mid. Now he's got an Illusion Rune up his sleeve. They've also got Blade Mail completed up on Bone 7, who's waiting for a place to TP out. But he can't really go straight in on Koitfa. And Koitfa doesn't really care about him right now. He is so close to finishing up his Bloodstone. And this is going to be like a 13, 14 minute Bloodstone coming his way.
Yeah, that's so huge. He's gonna just go straight into everybody's faces, except when Always 2000 dooms him. Then he's gonna be a sad Timbersaw. Won't be cutting anymore. But
he's gonna be even sadder when he gives away all that gold he's worth. Like there's 6 kills for 0 on Batrider, and there's 4 kills for 0 on a Timbersaw. Like Batrider is almost
the
worth.
ending of the streak.
Yeah, Batrider's almost worth 1,000 gold.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you keep that in mind at this point of the game, where one fight, one for Speed Gaming and a follow-up tower, they get a huge injection of money.
Toby, that reminds me.
Yep.
You know, understanding Isama's brilliance, could you say that he's actually fattening the calf before he slays it?
No. No.
Maybe he's just giving them, letting them
There is
think
no
that
scenario
they
that
can
makes that right, man. Bulba's about to fatten it up a little bit more. Bone 7 dragged back. Call down as well. He's in the middle of the Firefly. Jara will take this kill.
Arrow. Ooh, big arrow.
But there's no support that can come in.
No. Yeah, the TP was cancelled and all follow-up has been diminished. So this tower looks like it is free for Liquid. And right now, honestly, it just looks like this is the Liquid show. Ever since the first minute,
TP stop.
it just seems that...
We're going to go for a kill. Koitfa, Timber chains up, looks for a Chakram, flies it out, and does slow down Envy a little bit, but now he's also, I say he's locked. He had to make the decision either Timber chain in deeper or go back, and now he was already rotating up the river. He doesn't have vision of that, but still decided to move back anyway.
You know, watching all these Timbersaws rush Bloodstone and seeing how the effectiveness of the hero completely changes with that item, I'm gonna, you know, not everybody's gonna like this stuff, but I'm gonna have to say Bloodstone, I think, has to be nerfed from 8 charges to 6 again. I think it's way too efficient as an item that once you get it, it just completely changes certain heroes that are very mana dependent.
I'd look on the other side of that. Also, way too sexy escaping out of the snap. I'll look at the other side of that and say Bloodstone, because of the 8 charges, it makes it so people like will select the item, but can also really kick you in the teeth if it doesn't go right. Like if you're gonna lose one fight, more than likely you're gonna lose a second directly after, and then the item really just loses all effectiveness. So it's a gamble item, really.
Well, I guess so, and I see what you mean as this word that's about to expire gets countered out. But my thought process with this regard is like, okay, heroes like Invoker and Invoker Windrunner, who kind of got completely, you know, I gotta say, they got completely screwed over with the Quarterstaff nerf a couple patches back when damage was pretty much removed and the Quarterstaff no longer became a core component. How come int heroes keep getting the backlash of these indirect nerfs where these strength heroes like Timbersaw, they just, even this patch with the buff of the range heroes, and majority of range heroes are int, but strength heroes seem to just dominate this metagame as a whole, and I can't understand if this efficiency is just fair overall, because heroes like Clockwork and Timbersaw, once again, there's so many heroes that these heroes dominate. If it's not just by their spell, it's their transition with items, that I'm not too sure if it's fair, really. And I see like a slight attempt to change that. It's like BKB got nerfed 75 gold, but that's kind of insignificant in the grand scheme of things, because it is a core item regardless, and people are going to get it no matter what. So I'm kind of just wondering in terms of fundamentals and mechanics and all that jazz, but I guess that's something that's gonna have to be looked into intensively elsewhere. But Speed Gaming right now taking Roche, and they break the Lincoln on the Roche, and I'm not sure whether that purpose was exactly for, but yeah, I don't know, man. They had nothing to follow it up with, right?
Yeah. It's like, what do you
No Frostbite, no Cold Feet.
What are you gonna do? Riptide? Wait, no, that doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sing Sing's arrow goes straight through Roshan. How many times have you seen that?
Way too many.
Is that graphic bug ever gonna get fixed?
That's a good ulti. Caught out way too sexy, but he didn't.
Oh, I don't think they want to.
I thought for a moment though, with the position of the tail, I kind of thought for a moment that he was halfway through his epicenter, and then was gonna blink in and go for that, but they just used it to bail out again because he's got Blink Dagger and the epicenter available at level 1.
Yeah,
that's a quick initiation.
He is a one right now, though. He definitely doesn't have the mana pool to sustain for a second round, so he is most certainly a one-hit wonder. But if Liquid can get this tower and force one big fight, the one-hit wonder might be enough, because TC has completed up the BKB, and add a tower to his name right now, he's got 1.1k gold extra. He could be very well building into something big that Speed Gaming is not quite exactly prepared for, and I say that because Eternal Envy is very, very underfarmed, even with the Aegis.
Yeah. Want to give a reminder too for everyone who is tuning in, you've only got a couple of moments left. When this game is over, you're basically out of time. Well, Blink, Lasso, got him. Envy, dragged. Clockwork, going to come back though. Frostbite still available here for Fluff and stuff, as well as his ultimate, and they just want to get out of there. But Envy, max range, now Epicenter in on 4 with the Frost as well. There'll be a Frostbite over onto the Mirana. Sing Sing will survive. The Aegis will trigger out as well. But a huge Epicenter out from way too sexy. Fluff is gone here. He knows he is too. A couple of cold balls coming out. They may have in fact deny him off. Sharkham trying to keep Aoi a little bit further away. Another Frostbite Fluff. Yeah, it was just one very optimistic TP out. Now Doom is cast out in Koitfa, so he can't run himself away. The arrow's flying in, but the new creep wave, you can see him. I think that was Aoi's attempt to devour and allow the arrow through, but one unsuccessful. While TC still taking out the bottom lane, and in fact going to call down and just push Aoi back off that lane as well. Everyone's going to retreat.
Allies disappear.
Oh, top lane.
Now if Liquid,
Disappear. Koitva. He doesn't know where to go. Chakram down one way. Ensnare on the other. He just cut off the trees, which would allow him to kill off Envy then. Clockwork again. Wow, Bone 7. This is even US East, man.
It's got to be server at this point. I've seen him miss way too many hook shots this game. It's very uncharacteristic of him. I gotta say, the server is definitely having its implications. So a little bit unfortunate for him, but honestly...
But we do have like, what is it, 70, 80% of our players in this game right now are from America or Canada?
Yeah, so it's... What can I say? Lux players at slight disadvantage, but nothing somewhat remarkable. Regardless, though, if Liquid can make the plays like they did against Speed Gaming on their side of the map like that, they can take this game very, very quickly, man. This Bloodstone charges on Koipa hasn't really been increasing, but they have been winning the fights.
Oh, they're going to have a gank right now. Already Timber Chain being used, and you see that blink away by the SK. He's Seabat coming back to help. I think he's Seabat. He's wanting to do a double burrow strike. He only got one. Now you've got Bulba coming in. He's able to lasso up Sing Sing. He's wanting to get the Firefly in the middle of this fight, but Envy makes his way in, winds up the oldie, and Bulba wants to run away. The oldie did end up triggering at the end of the day, but Batrise already got himself a double kill. Fluff, Frostbite, and Sing Sing, and now Doom comes in. Who does he want to do? He can't. He's taking too long to even turn before he can even Doom. It's a triple kill for Bulba. Blink off cooldown, 3 seconds time. Owie, choose one. Bulba is going to be the choice. Bulba, 4-star. There's Narrow flying out as well. Looks like someone else having a little bit more fun. Oh, that arrow only just missed on Way Too Sexy. Bulba, I don't think he's going to die to that.
I think he is.
He's out.
I think he is.
Epicenter, Way Too Sexy. Blink, Burrow. This is some revenge on Sing Sing. The man with no leap, but he's got bottle charges and one charges. Way Too Sexy goes in. The arrow flies and actually goes through his dead corpse. The buyback has come out from the Clockwork at the same time. And Fluff and Stuff's on the run back out of the jungle again. Fluff always seems to be one of those last people to survive and retreat.
Yeah, his positioning is really phenomenal. But
is he going to go again? Yeah, they want to kill him this. They're using Fluff as bait. Clockwork can jump himself in, and I think Fluff wasn't really expecting Bone 7 to also be here. So quite
yeah, you know, I mean, a bait only goes so far if you die before your team gets there, so... Fortunately for them, that walking into the secret shop, I'm not too sure what that was, but the result is that 3 kills go in favor of Speed Gaming, plus a tower, which I presume is going to be the result here. And this Doom is just being the bane of Koipa's existence. You see how his impact in the teamfight is completely destroyed.
I only had to just be out of range. Sorry, there's a Naga only being used, and they got a blink lasso up. Bone 7 thought he was home and hosed with them around all of them. There's a sentry ward down for the Radiant side. And Bulba were able to snipe him out. I don't know if you saw that, but the arrow that flew down by Sing Sing, there was like one creep who like slightly inched to his left and took the arrow for him.
Oh.
That was on the Timbersaw after Naga net and Timber Chain away.
No, that might have actually changed the outcome, because then that would have been the telling tale, the tell of whether they stay and fight or whether they protect different targets. But regardless, Koipa's just right-clicking the tower. Of course, all he's got is armor, not much of damage, so it's not doing very much. Yeah, but he's showing his presence.
He knows he can tank it all up. He can tank up the tower with his charges up and the reactive armor. That he was having more life being regenerated than he was losing.
Now, I'm wondering, I had this problem the other day too when I was playing Timbersaw, and then there was a Doom that was completely focusing me. I'm not too sure what the best solution is. It's not exactly the Lincoln, because Lincoln Spear can be broken by a Doom that's actually very vigilant with it. Like, if he's keen and aware that you have a Lincoln Spear, he's not gonna just throw the Doom on you and get it completely wasted. The hero is a direct counter, so Koipa's gonna have to find a solution. And once again, I'm just not sure what the best solution is right now for him, because he doesn't have that much gold, and he's about to pick up some with the extra tower kill here, but it's gonna be a long way for him to transition into an item that really counters out the Doom. So as I say, that Fluff and Stuff is about to go down, or not.
Yeah, Riptide was already used, so he Nova's down the rest of it, and Clockwork bailed out.
What do you think? I'm not sure what this Timbersaw can do to counter up the Doom right now, because he's basically gonna get shut off from the fight for however many seconds.
For me, countering up the Doom isn't where he's got to go. I think Koipa's done the right choice here, where he brought up BTs, which is kind of like contradictory to what he has with the Bloodstone, because the Bloodstone he wants to be in there for team fights. But with the BTs, it's split push.
Yeah.
He's able to just jump in the lanes because it is the power of a Timbersaw. Like, your regeneration's still decent. Like, he may have lost a couple of charges on his Bloodstone, but he's still got 6 in there, so it's not that bad. You see him just melt down that creep wave and burn very little mana for it. So now he can just BT down to the bottom lane and push this out. He doesn't need to be involved in the fights unless like there's a pick-off like this, where enjoy the extra little bit, but Envy winds up with a BKB, destroys it in close Crystal Main, but with a cooldown and the flag cannon from TC, the damage bomber can't reach Envy, so Envy turns Burrow Strike up by Way Too Sexy. The Death Ulti will help to get, well, no kills. And with the Doom already out in the Gyro, TC's having to back himself up, but Way Too Sexy, Burrow Strike, he's got it just off cooldown a little bit too late. Sing Sing will get the kill.
Oh man, a huge overcoming coming out of Liquid, but TC is alive, and that's the big story of the news today. Because TC being alive means that he can farm up that much more while Eternal Envy is out. And Koipa going down, even without the expenditure of the Doom on him specifically.
As the charges.
Yeah, the Bloodstone charges are going down. Did I tell you about that story where I was watching Scrim the other day and somebody went from 8 to 0 Bloodstone charges straight? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen this game, but you know, it might happen, and it's a very sad story for any Bloodstone wielder for that to happen. Let me tell you, man, it's not even about the reason. It's just that you're sitting there, you're looking at this item and said, I used to have 8, so I literally died 8 times without being a part of a team fight or like without being a part of a kill. And if you think about that thought, it's a pretty depressing thought, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really destroys your game, let me tell you.
Everyone's buying up into BTs now, as well as BKBs. Even Flop and stuff. Mr. Ogre Club. He's attempting it. Gyro's already got his, and he'll get a Monkey King bar up and running. So then it won't matter if Eternal Envy is going to go into Butterfly, but he went in for Crystallis, so he's all about the deeps. He wants a straight up Daedalus. He wants to one-hit down that Crystal Maiden if possible. And with the kill on the bottom tower, he's getting a lot closer to it. He's got 3k gold up on this SF.
You know, he's also bought up the Tranquil Boots, and this, I'm actually wondering this. There was a bug with Tranquil Boots when it was introduced a couple days ago, where somebody from the other side of the map could just right-click your hero, and it would shut down the Tranquil Boots, because I guess the coding was something like, it says whenever you get attacked or when you attack, right? And as soon as your hero got right-clicked by another hero, whether it was in front of you or other side of the map, it registered as an attack, so it would just break your Tranquil Boots right away.
Really?
I wonder if that bug is fixed.
I don't know. Well, we got 2 patches come out tonight alone, man. we had a patch after our first game, and there was also a mini patch that came out after the second game.
Yeah,
it was the reason why the network crashed again. I believe. I don't know why the network crashes. I don't know. I just assume. All I know is that this game started at 6 o'clock, but we've also had 2 games, which in-game time, not including draft, was already about, I think we're actually almost hitting 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
We're probably on like 2 hours and 20 minutes of just gameplay time.
An extended series, man. A back and forth fight between these 2 teams.
It really has been too. See, I love this.
Like, as you were saying, the curse of the 2-1 BO3 series inside the Champions League so far.
But it's only in this group. It's only in Group B, because there's one game which happened in Group A. And that was Fnatic's game up against Virtus Pro. And Fnatic went 2-0 in that. Fnatic also, by the way, coming up next in their game. Maybe the return of the level 4 Meepo.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Those Meepo nerfs were so big.
I don't know if you saw Notal. There was a highlight coming out from his chat. And he basically just said, if anyone picks a hero up against us, then Meepo won't work. Doesn't matter what hero. Just any hero.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The whole thing that really made him good, I think, with the recent patches
was the share.
For one, it was the magic resistance, but the other one was the stat sharing before the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah.
And now that that's gone, basically, the way I see it right now without Tranquil Boots as well is like, Meepo at level 4, it just means you have 2 targets to kill now instead of 1. Or like, you can kill either one of 2, so there's more chances to gank him, basically. And yeah, without the nighttime vision and all these other things, it's a pretty big nerf, and I'm not sure if the buff, quote unquote, is actually a buff. You get your 4th Meepo slower too, so.
We're gonna smoke gank up by Speed. I also want to point out right now, possibly going to be one of the biggest key players in this next fight. Well, there goes your Naga ulti, but look for the SK. He's picked up a Veil of Discord, so he sits on the max range and now wants to go in. He's waiting for the BKBs to wear off, however, and coming in behind him. Now channeling it up. Already the 2 heroes down for Liquid, but in he comes. Burrow strike up. Veil of Discord now being used, and you just see the Doombringer disintegrate in the middle of it all. But Envy, he's looking for these blind razors, and then he's going to bring down the tower. He's burning up in the Firefly. He's still got the Aegis Immortal available. Bulba wants it to go, and now Burrow Strike picking up 2. They get the Clockwork and the Aegis. Way 2, 4 staffed away. The leap down, Mirana Starfall and Arrow, and Arrow from a normal attack followed anyway. So 21 to 19, they go through the Aegis, but Liquid lose everything bar Bulba.
So if anybody wants to say that Naga Siren is still not good after what we just seen there, I want to say I beg to differ. Because Speed Gaming, not only did they utilize Naga Siren to the full potential, but they played that initiation perfectly. I really thought that the Doom was going to be expended on Koipa to make him useless, but what they did was just so brilliant. They threw the arrow, and as soon as the arrow landed on Koipa, they dropped to sleep, so Koipa was stunned up, and that gave them enough time to burst him down. In the meanwhile, TC and his BKB couldn't do anything but the BKB itself because he got doomed up immediately. So that was like a 2 guaranteed kill in that situation with Speed Gaming on the initiation. And now Eternal Envy, he has lost the Sieges, but I'm sure he has another item coming to him in the Courier, and that is the Helm of Dominator. So if he crits once, man, he's getting like 100+ life back. Yeah.
And once he finishes up the Satanic, you'll get even more than that. Lincoln Sphere finished up for Koipa as well, coming out in the Golden Courier. The BKB farmed up by Bulba. I was squeaking a little bit of Bulba before because he was so close to picking up a Haste Rune. But when he came back, I can understand why. The timing of the Firefly was perfect for him to farm up both of those camps and just get enough money to have his BKB up and running.
Yeah, and that is once again a very big deal in this team fight composition as well. So Koipa actually goes for the Lincoln Sphere. I guess.
Sorry, this Haste Rune, just small, like little side story that happens around it. Bulba doesn't pick it up. Envy was moving up to it, and then he backed up because Bulba was going for it. And now Naga sends Illusions, which when she's in just enough range to deny.
Yeah, the animation, right?
It expired. It expired. It just ran out of life points. Paladin needed to be like an inch further when he did his mirror images. Now they're smoke movement by speed. All 5 together. They're looking for kills. While way too sexy, he can be in the best position for this. Triple stun. Oh, Naga.
No.
Again, we're going to go. This time, way too sexy won't be able to follow it with a big hit, but Envy, BKB, winds up, but the cogs actually push him further away. Way too sexy. Burrow strikes. He's also using all of his wands to escape from this, and TC, like he's opened up already with the flat cannon. He's used everything he's got before he got doomed up, and Sing Sing, damage Fluff and stuff with the Frost Storm. Also coming in from the side with the Shakram. They can't reach him in time. Arrow from Sing Sing. The only way they can stop him from doing his terrible, terrible damage. And again, Bulba, the only one to escape. I really thought they screwed it up with the cogs, but it seems like Speed come out on top.
Yeah, the lone survivor in that fight. And honestly, the power of what Doom's giving you in this game, this is incredible. Like, for a while, I've been thinking this hero is just so strong. But looking at this game as a whole, I'm thinking in a 5v5 composition, this hero might just be, well, I don't really want to say broken, but really, really, like, it's hard to pass up on. If you've ever seen what a Doom gives you with an AC and Shivas, you'll know, like, this hero seriously just doesn't die in the team fight. And once again, with that Doom spell, the reason why it has such a long cooldown and why it's such a critical spell is it just makes the fight 4v5 instantly. And even with TC popping up the BKB and doing the little bit of damage he does with his items, it's just not enough when you're under Doom for 15 seconds. BKB, MKB, none of it matters against Doom. And literally this 4-position hero is just negating the effect of a 1-position hero, somebody who's been farming the entire game or should have been farming. Just, it's such a powerful ability.
I want to give props to Bulba for his efficiency for farming. He just managed to Firefly not only 2 creep waves along the bottom, but also go through 2 camps with 1 Firefly.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Toby, this guy took all the notes from Eternal Envy, E-Sama, and more. You know, I remember
see, Envy would stack and then get kills with the whole timing of it. Bulba's just like, I'm in the neighborhood, I may as well be legendary.
No, dude, I'm telling you, I was playing a pub with Bulba the other day. This was actually a while ago, but he was basically playing Lone Druid at mid. And he sent his bear to the enemy save lane and stole the entire creep wave to bring it back to him so he can get double the CS. And he kept doing that, so every minute. Like, that's... Like, who does that?
Bulba.
Yeah, that's flipping rude, man. That's just not right.
That's awesome. I'm down for that. One thing I'm not down for is Koifa's Bloodstone charges.
Oh goodness, we're actually going to see it. Oh goodness.
This is what I was talking about before. Right? I think the Bloodstone is fine. As now, like you say, oh, it was buffed up, and for Snowball heroes, yeah, it works wonderful. But if your Snowball goes the other way, everything starts to heat up, and all of a sudden you've got like 2 charges. You don't like life.
I don't know, man. Like, judging by this game, I think your circumstances vary on point. But like overall, as a whole, though, you know what I mean with the Force Staff and stuff, right? Like, it's like Windrunner and Invoker would be picked every single game if Force Staff was still that item that gave you that extra damage. As a matter of fact, a whole ton of other heroes would have been picked because of that damage bonus, as well as the 600 movement push. But Bloodstone as a whole works in similar efficiency. It's like, I mean, I'll be honest, like, there's very little heroes that'll buy the Bloodstone aside from Timbersaw, like, that buys it arduously as a core. But it really does change the hero. And honestly, this game, the only reason the example is not coming out to the full, I think, is one of the biggest reasons is Doom. Definitely. Look at how he's forced to go Lincoln Sphere instead of a Shivas and become an even more devastating team fighting force. Like, this Doom pick overall, I mean, he hasn't been dooming up the Timbersaw for a while now. He's been dooming up the Gyrocopter. But it's what he used to do before, and all the other things on top, it's not working out for him. So 0 Bloodstone charges on the way. And yeah, sure, on 0 charges doesn't look like a very daunting item. But I still do believe that 8 charges at the start is a bit too much for what the item is worth.
Oh. We'll sit on either side of the fence, man. Way too sexy. Having some good time on bottom lane. This is some really good experience going to take as well. And I like how he set up the Caustic Finale before he did the Burrow Strike through. Really able just to work your way through everything on that bottom lane. He's got Blink Dagger, Veil of Discord. Still needs a little bit more money up his sleeve. In fact, I kind of like to still see him with Arcane Boots.
His mana pool is really lacking.
Speaking as a guy who also really loves SK. I can thank Mania for that one a lot. The Arcane Boots, like, just the ability to always Burrow Strike whenever you want to. That's what it's all about. Like, you get a mana regeneration, like a burst mana regeneration, having a huge pool. It's 100 or so for your arcanes, and with that, you're like, well, it's only 140 for a Burrow Strike. Whoop! Fantastic. Envy's itching to go. Clockwork also has now an Orchid up his sleeve too, so this should be mindful during the next fight. Envy's finished up his full Satanic, and it still has another 3k gold on him after finishing up that Satanic, which was only like a minute and a half ago he finished up the Satanic.
He caught up really, really nicely. Once again, Shadow Fiend now on top of the scoreboard. Definitely one of the best heroes in terms of catching up those raises, man. Very cost efficient when it comes to farming creeps. And SF as a whole, very snowbally type of character that gives him more damage, more creeps that he has. Additional 72 bonus damage as well as -6 area of effect armor. It's like an Assault Cuirass right there, man. Very nice hero. You
can note your time of 38:12 when Roshan's going to spawn up. If I saw that and calculated that at the right point.
Is that at 11 minutes maximum?
There you go.
Because now it's
no. We get our respawn time, which actually tells us when he'll respawn.
Oh. Not exactly though, right? It's random.
The
Can the spectators see it?
The announcements which appear on the side are accurate. So what you're seeing right there, or maybe I am wrong. If it does spawn before that point, then I am wrong.
All I know is that red zone, we see the clock right now. That red zone where it is, that's the
that's the possibility it could spawn in that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see how far it's burning through with the yellow circle. But if
I still can't read this clock, man.
If it spawns up in 3 seconds or 4 seconds from now, then that prediction thing is, yep, there she goes.
Oh, right on. 8 minutes. Wow.
Whoop, whoop. Son of the police.
Oh, gosh. And here comes the dire advantage.
Look at the time they come in. They check it. DD rune up for EE because they already used the Clockwork to rockets. That's what I was talking about before in game number 1. Where heroes like Venomancer or Enchantress or Chen, these heroes that can control up creeps or leave something inside the pit, are great for it. The Helm of the Dominator almost becomes a critical item now in every single game you play. Because we now have SF with Aegis, we have Doom with Cheese, who also finished up his Rod of Atos.
Oh dear.
And we got 5k gold on SF.
I personally don't like the Rod, but the
I like it because it's going to trigger the Lincoln Sphere of the Timbersaw.
Oh, well, if he was using it for that purpose, that'd be very nice. But
Yeah,
I think he just got it because he's always 2000.
because he is who he
Yeah,
is.
I'm pretty sure he just got it because he's always 2000, dude. I'm pretty sure.
Firefly and Sharkram's going to clean up this middle lane because we're already gone high ground now. Bulba jumps in and he'll drag Owie back. Can they pick him up before he gets the Doom off with the epicenter? Yeah, they will. With a Veil of Discord, they just pop the Clockwork as well as the Doom. And Koipa, he's looking for more kills here. They're chasing down Eternal Envy. Timber chain up into the Sharkram, and Naga just says, everybody sleep and stop. The rocket's flying up there, so that's the reason why everyone's backing up a little bit further before they TP. With the haste rune on Envy, he's fine.
I'm wondering why the Naga didn't do that before.
Well, when you had both Clockwork as well as Doom in the middle of the fight, hey, Bulba,
Yeah.
5 seconds stun.
Because, well, one of the things with Naga Siren against Bat Rider is when the Bat Rider initiates, you always sleep. Because you either negate the effect of the lasso itself completely, or especially in this situation when you have the BKB on the Bat Rider, you can just isolate him and kill him.
Look at the Bat Rider's build.
Dire's middle
We're getting Refresher Lasso.
Oh dear.
Dire's structures
Oh, and he's found one.
Yeah, he's found Envy. He's getting an arrow, but it's a short time, so he can still drag up. And now Burrow Strike actually going to go through the two in the call down. It's on Pylite Die as well as Eternal Envy. Bat Rider may go down, but look at Envy. That's Satanic winding up now, but they're all far enough away. Fluffersoft takes minimal damage. The BKB's worn off from Envy, and they can see him moving there. But they're backing off, and Clockwork. He got a latch on the Koipa. He'll use the Orchid, however, but the Lincoln Sphere was still up and available. So Koipa is away to safety. He won't lose his 2 Bloodstone charges he managed to gain from these last fights.
Going back up in the ranks, Toby. Climbing back up.
He was an ensign. Now back to a lieutenant. But it shows you that like Bone 7 also needs to get a 4-star. And now we see what MV purchases up with all of his money, which he had. He bought out for this one too. There's no buyback available for him. He's probably thinking with a butterfly, who really cares? I go Satanic Butterfly Daedalus. Like this is this is basically your rapier build without the rapier.
Pretty much, man. The damage coming out with the Alpha Wolf that is present within AoE 2000 and the Aegis to back him up. Yeah, I would say that's a lot of damage, man. But let's see if Speed Gaming is ready for this push in their mindset as well, because Pilot Die sitting back here looks like he is ready to sleep, and he has some really nice support items in the mechanism as well as the Pipe of Insight. But if things go like last fight again, then Bulba might just be able to find the perfect pickoff, and Bone 7 might get himself caught in an unwanted situation. And that could very well spell disastrous for Kai P. So they shouldn't get too cocky here, or too overconfident rather. But at the same time, they definitely hold an advantage, and a very, very notable one.
And that courier needs to travel up to the secret shop. If Koipa doesn't get this side device up before the fight, they still have nothing to go through. Okay, you got the Monkey King bar, but you want to be able to have a little bit more attack directly towards their Eternal Envy. And there's a Blink Lasso. They got the Doombringer. Again, the target. But Naga throws a sleep off, but the BKB's already up from TC and way too sexies. SK Epi, they try to do the damage, but it's not enough. And now they just wind up and return the welcome note, which was left by Team Liquid. Koipa's now dead. Here's a crit over 1,000 coming out from Envy in this one. GG.
Wow.
Speed will take it out 2-1. And do not go anywhere on this live stream, peoples. We'll be back here in a moment for Fnatic going up against Quantic. That is our next game coming up on the live stream. Well, the Quantic, now known as Sigma. They got themselves picked up by a new team. Obviously, no time to change overlays, so they are going to be displayed as Quantic in our matchup. And also remember tomorrow's game, first game coming up tomorrow at 19 CEST, will be Alliance versus Virtus.pro. So some great games coming your way for the Dota 2 Champions League. Make sure you stay tuned. Check out the website at the d2cl.org. We'll find all your information on the tournament as well as the schedules, as well as the live streams there. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple of moments' time for our second best of 3 of the night, which will hopefully not take 4 hours. We'll be back.